We have a massive Lakers update. There's no way they actually do this, or that was my initial reaction. But then when I read into the tea leaves, you know what? Maybe there is a chance that the Lakers do this. We're going to break down what this report is, how it affects the Lakers, and how the Lakers will ultimately react and move forward with the decision here. And welcome to Lakers Digest, guys. My name is Hunter Pitcoff, and we cover everything surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers. We have grown to over 15,000 subscribers, and we do not want to stop the grind there. We are more than halfway to 16K from 15, and almost 90% of you guys watching our videos are not subscribed, and that means a lot of you are new. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. But if you're not subscribed and you like what we got going on here and you want to tap in, stop what you're doing right now. Just hit that subscribe button to keep up with everything we got going on here. But I don't want to keep you guys waiting too much longer here because I don't know if you guys have seen the classic Toy Story movies. Perhaps you're not from the U.S. Perhaps you're not tapped into Disney like that. That's something I personally grew up on. There's the song You Got a Friend in Me that's in there, and that is going to be a little bit of the common theme that we're going to talk about here because there's a report that just came out just hours before this recording from Chris Haynes, one of the most trustworthy reporters out there that covers the NBA. He's saying that veteran guard Dennis Smith Jr. is leaving Real Madrid and intends to make a return to the NBA this season, his league sources are telling him. So, of course, you hear that report. Dennis Smith Jr., a very popular name. A lot of people know him. I personally remember back when he was balling at Fayetteville, North Carolina, the Ball is Life high school mixtapes, the crazy bounce he had, ACC Freshman Player of the Year when he played at NC State for his lone season before being a top 10 pick, going 8th overall to the Dallas Mavericks. He eventually is a first-team all-rookie player, and then it kind of just goes downhill from there, and he really hasn't quite been the same guy that was projected him to be since he was a star player in high school. So all of that happening, Dennis Smith Jr. now finds himself playing overseas in Real Madrid, a very short stint there, and now he's making his way back to the NBA after playing in Spain. So the question is, all right, why is Dennis Smith Jr. making this decision, and how does it ultimately impact the Los Angeles Lakers? You guys watching this channel are probably wondering the same thing. Well, we're going to dive a little bit further into it, and there is a very good article, quote that I want to read for you guys here that's going to really kind of help explain things here that perhaps we're not actually seeing. So, Luka Doncic and Dennis Smith Jr., again, this is from Tim McMahon back in 2021 in his article, saying that these two guys have become fast friends after Dallas Mavericks selected the teenager from Slovenia. Of course, that's Luka Doncic, guys, 3rd overall in the 2018 NBA draft. Smith, who the team had drafted 9th a year prior, sorry, not 8th, 9th, had shown Luka around the city, invited a new guy into his social circle. They lived in the same apartment building and had spent hours playing video games together. If one was spotted during a Mavs road trip, chances are the other would be there too, along with young swingman Dorian Finney-Smith. So, essentially, these guys were all extremely good friends back when they were with the Dallas Mavericks. They're 3 of the younger guys on the team. They were supposed to grow together, be a part of this young nucleus. But then, of course, what happens is in the Dallas Mavericks, they try to find their next Dirk replacement, and they end up making a big move, trading for Kristaps Porzingis from the New York Knicks at the time, as well as Tim Hardaway Jr., Trey Burke, and they ship him off to Dallas in exchange for Dennis Smith Jr. and multiple first-round picks. So the dream backcourt of Luka Doncic with his skill, his size, his passing, his shot making compared to Dennis Smith Jr.'s crazy athleticism, the ability to attack the basket, the defense, that never ended up happening. And I guess in retrospect, this was probably the right trade to make, even though Porzingis didn't really pan out the way we thought he was going to. But ultimately, Dennis Smith Jr., after having a stellar rookie season averaging over 15 points, 5 assists a game, never really averaged those type of numbers again. And then ultimately what happens here is what we have now here. So Dennis Smith Jr. in his career, after, again, a really good rookie season, had a good second stint with the Mavs, and then it was okay with the Knicks. But really after that was kind of where it started going downhill, had a lot of injuries, kind of became a journeyman, bouncing around with the Pistons, the Trailblazers. The last 2 NBA seasons, played with the Hornets, played with the Nets, was pretty respectable there, and then he ultimately now is not on an NBA team. But again, he's looking to make a return. So it's going to bring us to our next point here, guys. Does this make sense for the Lakers to go after Dennis Smith Jr.? Now, we know now that Rob Pelinka, the Los Angeles Lakers front office, this franchise, their philosophy is to build around Luka Doncic and make Luka Doncic happy. That is what they are going to do, is why they tried to get Mark Williams at the deadline. Now, clearly that didn't work out, but I guarantee you this offseason, the Lakers are going to try to get more big men and more players that want to play with Luka Doncic and Luka Doncic wants to play with, and guys that fit his skill set. They're not building around LeBron James anymore. They're not focusing on building around, obviously, Anthony Davis anymore. The focus is clearly Luka Doncic, and since he is a young player, he is still one of the best players in the NBA right now, and therefore the Lakers now know for the next 10 years, they hope, that they can build around this guy in Luka Doncic, and he can bring them championships, MVPs, and bring the Los Angeles Lakers, back to the top of the NBA. That is the goal when you trade for a guy in Luka Doncic, and they have one more roster spot left if they want. They recently got Alex Len. They were able to buy out Christian Wood and bring in Alex Len. The Lakers do have the flexibility now to also buy out another contract. I feel like it probably is going to be Cam Reddish. And they can also bring in another player. Now, they can sign another big man. They can elevate one of their two-way guys. It could be Christian Koloko. It could be Trey Jemison. A lot of you guys want Jordan Goodwin. But if they decide not to do any of that, and they want to bring in somebody to help make Luka Doncic feel more comfortable in LA, perhaps it could be Dennis Smith Jr. Now, Dennis Smith Jr. brings a unique skill set that the Lakers don't really have right now at the guard position. He's a really good athlete, and he plays really good defense. They got Gabe Vincent, good defender, not a great athlete. We know Austin Reaves, really good player, not a great athlete. They don't have a lot of athletes at that guard spot. So perhaps they look at someone like Dennis Smith Jr. and go, you know what? He brings a skill set that's a little bit different. He's now really more known as a defensive kind of player. And in the event that, we saw what Jake Milton's done when he's been in the games, when Gabe Vincent's been out or he's had to play minutes, and it's been a little bit up and down and streaky and mainly ugly at times. So perhaps they bring in someone like Dennis Smith Jr., gives the Lakers a little bit of a different look. He's a Luka guy. And if they do end up signing if they end up signing Dennis Smith Jr., this definitely is going to be a very interesting philosophy of, okay, Luka Doncic is definitely in control. That would 100% be my opinion. The fact that, again, guys, to show you guys the report, again, that Chris Haynes is putting out here, Dennis Smith Jr. is opting to leave Real Madrid, and he has until March 1st, ultimately, to sign with an NBA team to play with them for the rest of the season. That's pretty much going to be the deadline here, and then we're about 10-plus days, actually, really about 10 days away from that happening. To see if him or any other guy. We just saw Lonnie Walker go to the Philadelphia 76ers. That was a Laker target. But ultimately, Dennis Smith Jr., we know he's got the ties of Luka Doncic. They're still good friends. I remember after the Nets game, I believe, last year, Luka was able to catch up with Dennis Smith Jr. there. So these guys have clearly kept somewhat in touch. We all know Luka Doncic played overseas as well in that the same Euro League. So clearly there's also that connection as well. And so, Luka Doncic, if he's really the head honcho now in Los Angeles, and Dennis Smith Jr. somehow ends up making his way from Real Madrid to Los Angeles, I think it definitely shows you something too. And you think, no way the Lakers actually do this. But at this point, you never can really doubt it. But again, guys, let me know down below in the comments what you think. Is Dennis Smith Jr., is this someone who maybe needs another chance in the NBA to prove himself? Or do you think the Lakers should look elsewhere and potentially getting one more guy on this roster to compete for a playoff run here? And I said it, guys, in the beginning of the video. If you've watched all the way through and you're not subscribed, just click the subscribe button, guys. Almost 90% of you guys watching. We're getting so many new subscribers, so many new fans, so many new people really tapping into our content. We appreciate you all. But at the same time, if you're watching now and you're not subscribed, stop what you're doing right now. Hit that subscribe button. It's free. It don't cost a dime. So you can keep up with everything going on here surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers on Lakers Digest.